Hey, Hannah here with Delta Faucet. Today I'm going to be installing a stainless steel top mount sink. Top mount sinks are a great choice for a new installation or for retrofitting with an existing countertop cutout. They're also compatible with most countertop materials like laminate, butcher block, quartz, or marble. This is the Lorelai sink, but you can use this video to help you with any stainless steel top mount sink from Delta. If you have a different type, check out Delta's other sink installation videos. I bet we've got you covered. A couple more things to check. First, make sure that your countertop cutout and cabinet base are large enough to accommodate the size of sink that you've purchased. Also, ensure the plumbing for your drain and garbage disposal will fit under the sink. And finally, it's also a good idea to make sure you have enough room to install your current faucet or that you take the proper measurements before buying a new one. Okay, if that all checks out, grab the tools you'll need for this installation and let's get started. Some tools you may need are a drill and drill bit, silicone sealant, a screwdriver, a hammer, a tape measure, a pencil, painter's tape, some scissors, and if you're cutting your own countertop, a saw and an 1¼ inch hole saw, and of course, some safety glasses. The first step we're gonna do is prepare to cut our countertop. I have a butcher block countertop here, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut my own. If you're working with a countertop fabricator, you wanna make sure you give them this template and the model number so they can cut your countertop to spec. All right, it's important to make sure that our countertop is set right where we want it. If it's in the wrong spot and you tape your template down and cut the hole for your sink, and then you move your countertop, the hole is gonna be in the wrong spot. So make sure to check that. Okay, now we're going to center our template on our sink base. And to do that, I've drawn a center line on our template and a center line on the sink base, and I've lined up the two center lines. We also want to consider the clearance for our finished wall back here. I'm doing a tile backsplash, so you want to make sure you have enough room for that. And then also our faucet, which is going to go in this center top area of our template. You want to make sure you have enough clearance for that. And also consider any plumbing accessories that you're going to use. Now I'm gonna check underneath our countertop to make sure that I have enough clearance in our sink base. When I drop my sink in, it's not gonna interfere with anything. Okay, now I'm going to make sure that my template is straight, and then I'm gonna tape it down. I've already done that and checked all my clearances. I'm gonna grab a pencil, and I'm gonna go ahead and trace around my template, and then we'll be ready to cut our countertop. I've gone ahead and cut the hole in our countertop and dry fit our sink. Mine fits really well. Go ahead and check yours at home, then we'll be ready to move on to the next step. But before we do, I do want to point out that there is this hole for an optional accessory. If you do want to use that, we're going to remove the cover on this in the next step. So go ahead and grab some sawhorses or put something down on your countertop to protect it. And let's take our sink out. All right, I've gone ahead and taken my sink out and placed it upside down and placed a towel on my sawhorse to protect my sink deck. Now I'm not gonna use this optional accessory hole, but if you're going to at home, all you need to do is apply some downward pressure to this hole cover here and it should pop right out. So a pro tip here is to install the strainer next. I just think it's much easier to install the strainer now than after the sink is in. So I've gone ahead and placed the sink on its side, and your strainer will come assembled in the box. So the first thing you want to do is disassemble it. Then you're going to grab your strainer and your thin gasket, place that over the strainer, place it in the hole in your sink. Then you're going to take your main body and your rubber gasket. Just place the rubber gasket right in the main body. You're going to take your screw next, making note of which way is the top of the screw. So the side with the lip here is the top. You're gonna take your main body, put that on the back of the sink, the bottom of the sink. Then you're gonna take your screw here, you're gonna thread it through the strainer and into the main body. We're just gonna hand tighten this. Okay, now I'm gonna grab a flathead screwdriver. I'm gonna tighten it up. Before I tighten it all the way down, I wanna make sure that my strainer is centered. Okay, and I don't want to over tighten this, I'm just gonna make it snug. All right, now we're gonna take our strainer cover, place it in the center of that screw. And what you'll be left with is a drain nut and a gasket, which you won't use until you go to hook up your plumbing. Next, we're going to install our mounting hardware. It comes disassembled in the box, so the first thing we want to do is assemble it. So we're going to grab a clip and a screw. Now we want to make sure that the hooked side of the clip is facing down. So we're going to take our screw here and feed it through the clip. And to attach it, we're actually going to turn the screw to the left. Okay, once you've got that attached, we're gonna slide our mounting clip into our channel here. Now, pro tip is we're going to spin this hooked side to either side. So it doesn't matter if you have it this way or this way. Then we're going to tighten it down. Just a bit, and you just want it snug. And this is gonna make applying silicone right here to this edge easier, and it's gonna give us more clearance when we go to install our sink. So you want to install 4 clips on the front, 4 clips on the back, and then 2 on each side. We've got our mounting hardware installed. Now it's time to move on to applying our silicone-based sealant. First, we want to make sure that where we're going to apply the sealant right along this edge is clean and dry. Once you've done that, we're going to grab our silicone-based sealant here and apply it along this edge on all sides of our sink. All right, let's get started. Okay, so we're gonna start tightening down our mounting hardware in the front, then move to the back, and then do the sides. So if you remember, when we installed our mounting hardware, we turn these clips to the side. So the first thing we're gonna do is loosen them again and swivel the clip forward so that this hooked side is touching the underside of our countertop. Before I tighten it down, I'm gonna space these kind of equidistant along the sink. Okay, now, once I've made sure that hook side's still touching the underside of my countertop, I'm gonna hand tighten it. Okay, once you've gotten it hand tight, we're gonna grab a flathead screwdriver, and I'm gonna hold on to the clip and then tighten it down. Okay, once you've got that tight, we're gonna do the same steps to the rest of the mounting clips. Okay, we've got our sink tightened down to our countertop. We're gonna let that silicone cure according to the manufacturer's instructions. That wraps it up. I think it looks really good. If you need any help installing your faucet, I'm sure we've got a video for you. And as always, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to Delta's customer service. They're happy to help.